I didn't like it. I turned it off. Sometimes it's that thing where it cuts off when you're sitting at a red light. It's like I know you sit there, and I'm like, I'm gonna see who's not putting on half on the gas, half on the brakes. I press the button, then I'm like, oh wait, I can hit the button. It's like I was on the button.
Keep you on your toes.
Time to restart it.
We'll call over Grayson EDA Development Authority. Call roll first. Well, I can.
Okay, Ken Bell,
I'm here.
Jason Munnar, present. Gary Rasco, here. Elizabeth Ash. Timmy Dixon, here. Betty Sharon,
Here.
John Collins,
Here.
and Darren Young. Here. Okay,
So we have a quorum.
you got a quorum.
Okay. If everybody gets a chance to look at the minutes from last month, February 27th, I'll look for motion to approve and second, please.
I moved it for the minutes.
Motion approved, I hear a second.
Second. I wasn't here.
You would,
I read through them.
you look good.
They look good.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Financial reports in your packet. Give you a chance to look at it, see anything that you want to talk about.
I would just highlight, I went back and read all the minutes from when I wasn't here to make sure I had everything included in the financial report. And County Line Cafe, which was the incentive approved for Grayson Diner, was not on the spreadsheet. So that was added back when it was approved in November. So the balances have changed a little bit since the last meeting. But as of the end of February, the EDA had $470,257.95 available.
Any questions on the financial report? If not, I'll look for motion to approve.
Wait, now County Line Cafe, that's this down here, or
It's a-
the new one that's running again. We didn't do that though till February, right?
I thought it was February.
I thought I read it in November.
Yeah, 'cause they come in February and made their presentation.
Yeah, it was February.
Yeah.
Didn't you have you didn't have closed session last time. You had,
We had it in February. I mean, in January, it was January, right?
no, I think it was,
Was it
the
November?
minutes I read said November.
Maybe, maybe it's,
I'm thinking they came
I was looking.
in this year, 25.
Well, I missed the last two.
Y'all were at the last.
It wasn't at the last
It
minute.
wasn't at the last meeting.
Right.
There was no closed session.
It was at the last one I was
It
at.
wouldn't
It
happen
would've
last
been
Well, we're in March now, so it's in
February.
January.
January.
Is when they
Didn't
done.
have one in January.
Yeah, we didn't have one in December, but we had one in January.
Yeah.
I'll go back and verify the date, but I looked at the
Yeah.
minutes. That's where I saw
It
it.
it confused me with County Line Cafe, because I was thinking of the one in Gaylight, so I'm like, wait, did we do something with them that I missed? Okay.
Only thing was wrong was the date, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Because they had to move on it quick, so they made the presentation and we discussed it that the same time, same meeting.
Yeah.
It went a lot faster than we normally do.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I can't tell what they did, what's on your pillbox. That's, motion approved financial report.
So moved.
Or second,
Second.
on favor, aye.
Aye.
So, okay, old business, ARS. You gonna do that?
Mr. Chairman, the ARS, I gave, Kenneth some, houses to look at. It's gonna come up on the delinquent, tax sale. I think he's looked at some of those actually gone, and you can talk about that. But then also, in a meeting I was at Rooftop, Jordan Stidham was there, and we was talking about the ARS, and he's here today. He can, fill in some things, some resources that he could be to us. And, he's here today to talk about that. That's all I had.
Okay. Hey, I went through and looked at some of the tax sales coming up, and I wasn't tempted what I looked at. Now, some up in the White Top area, if you wanna look at some of that up there, look like some almost better shape. The ones I seen on this end, hope like bulldozer, but anyway. If you want, if you
Yeah, I will
look at
do
some
that.
up that way.
Was there any specific ones that you were thinking of?
Like one or two had some, acreage to it, and there was some acreage tracks, but they were all Troutdale and White Top. And
Okay.
I just hadn't got up that far.
All right, I'll look at the White Top ones.
Okay. And it's coming up April 15th.
15th at Crossroads.
Okay. You want, I guess our question was, if we find, say we find a house on the tax delinquent, and we think maybe it's something to work on, then is your group can take it from there. And, you know, I don't want to go up there and say, well, the plumber's too high, let's find some, you know, we probably don't have time to go through all that and check everybody's bid process and all that. That's what we want, what the question was.
Yeah, so with our organization, we have our own ARS program. Right now, we're doing it in Smith, With, and Bland. Grayson is in our service area, but I was a part of the original conversation when you guys applied for it. And so we didn't want to cross over and have a double ARS going on. But with our organization, essentially we can do as much or as little as you guys need us to, where we're familiar with development. We develop apartments, townhouses, entire housing developments. We've got 2 Class A license, HVAC license, a full crew that does remodel. So we can do to whatever extent you guys want us to do. And I will say about ARS, I know you're talking about properties coming up on the delinquent taxes, but ARS doesn't only have to be that. So you can purchase properties that are just on the market, that are just kind of worn down, dilapidated, that you think there's enough in there to be worth doing. But then also ARS money can be used towards new construction as well. So like, let's say you've got one of those houses that you're like, man, let's just tear this thing down. ARS can be used for new construction as well. And so it kind of opens your horizons a little bit, but with our staff, because you know ARS has to be reserved for first-time homeowner for the first 90 days. We have a home ownership program, and so we work directly with first-time home buyers, budgeting, credit repair, and essentially we, depending on what route they go, we either package USDA direct loans or we hand them off to USDA guaranteed, FHA, or whatever other resource they may qualify for. So we have a pipeline in that sense of qualified buyers. And then we also, we're a licensed broker in the state of Virginia. We have a broker on staff as our director of housing. And so generally what we do with him is we'll say, hey, here's our area, here's our budget, and then he'll go out and find houses and say, I think this one can sell for this, we need to put in ABC, and then we hand it off to our team that does the actual remodeling work, and they'll go look at it and they'll price it based on our rates, and then it goes, so we use a third party Class A that does our inspection of work, and that's essentially how we do ours. It's what we could do for Grayson. That's the approach you guys wanted to take.
Okay.
Now, is this like in conjunction with Jimmy Moss's program, or do y'all work together with
We
Jimmy's
work,
program?
yeah, we work a lot with Jimmy. So the way it would work is Jimmy Moss would still administer your all's program. Like, we would not become the administrator. We would essentially just be the legwork. So Jimmy Moss would still get the admin fee on it. The way it would work is we would come in and we would essentially put together the property and the pitch, and we would give it to you all, and you all would have to give it to Jimmy Moss because he's still the administrator of that grant. We would just be doing the actual remodeling work, or if it's something we don't have a license for, like electrical, we would sub it out. So we would be the GC on it. And that's where we make our revenue, is the actual work. And then whenever it's sold by whoever you guys list with, we have a realtor. I'm sure you guys have your own realtors too. That revenue would still go to you guys. Like I said, we make our revenue on the actual remodel side of it. But it would still flow through Jimmy Moss.
Okay. Any questions? Very good. Appreciate you coming by and just give us a little update on what we really didn't. We haven't picked out a house yet, and we'll just go over some of the details on who's going to do the legwork. Because it's like, especially for Wino and White Top, that's a pretty good way up there to keep the
I
eyes.
can think of a couple that I'd like to see knocked out. I don't think they're for sale,
Well, maybe.
I don't know.
Okay. So we appreciate you coming by.
Absolutely.
I know you got wanting to get to, and we don't want you late for it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I know George needed to leave. We'll welcome Joan Collins. If you want to say anything, she's our new EDA member. And you can say anything or introduce yourself.
I don't think so. I'm not, you'll probably hear enough out of me later on. I'll try to stay quiet for a meeting or two and learn some things before I start saying things.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
This program we're talking about, you may not already know, but Jimmy Moss has got some ARS funds that they can help purchase a dilapidated house or an eyesore that can be redone through the county. Jimmy would do a lot of the money part of it.
Administration.
Yeah, and then we would put it back on the market for the first time home buyer of Grayson County for 90 days, I think is what it said. But that's the program we're talking about.
So I was in a meeting and Kenneth had already said to me, who's gonna do all this work, this slave work and stuff? And this guy I was talking to, he said, we do that. So that's why we want to get the county. So you got the administrative part, you got the slave work part. Basically, the EDA just has to go out and find something.
Any questions on that? Anybody else?
So this guy, he does the whole project management, the entire, I was trying to listen to what he was saying today, but they've managed the entire project from start to finish.
He managed the construction part, plumbing, electrical, and get it ready for the market. That's what he said he could do. And he's been doing that in different areas. But that's why.
And then there's someone else who will manage selling, putting it on market and getting it listed and selling it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You need help with that too.
Well, he said he would too, but
Yeah.
I know there's a broker or two around here too that could work that out. But anyway.
It's a job. A lot of people don't think it is, but it is. It is some.
There's be no reason to farm that out. Be no reason to farm that out to somebody else.
No, not a lot. You want to keep local anyway. I think we all would. Okay. Well, that's down the road. If find anybody anywhere, Freeze or Hill Creek, wherever, if we find something that we want to invest in, maybe get it back up to what looks good for the community, and then we'll get it back on the market for a first-time home buyer.
There's a, John, there's, of course, I haven't paid attention, but there's a certain pot of money that's allocated for this. And so it reduces the cost for an EDA to invest in this. Was it 35,000 per property or something like that? So it takes down the risk level when you're deciding, okay, we can purchase this piece of land or this house at this cost, and with the money, the state dollars that are coming in from this program, it reduces your overall expense of that. And if you've got a guy like Jimmy, I don't know Jimmy, a lot of people do, that can, he's the kind of PM on it. And if you can hire somebody else to do some of this other stuff, then it kind of makes it, it kind of fits into our comprehensive plan of providing housing at a certain level of cost here in the county. Does that make sense?
And so the money to purchase the property
Comes out of-
comes out of the EDA with
That's
the
right.
exception of whatever
That's
you're
right.
getting from the state.
You're tracking that. Yep.
ARS stands for acquire, renovate, and sell.
Yeah.
That's what the ARS.
Anybody else? If we heard, we'll go to new business of ag fund update. Ms. Lyndsie Young.
Kevin and I have been trying, well, we have been talking to some producers. We talked to the ag committee that, do I need to explain this again? I was just looking at Joan as a new
Yes.
member.
We've got a couple of new members.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
wanted to-
sorry.
No, you're fine. I just didn't want you to be lost. Back in, y'all gonna have to help me with some dates. October, November, the EDA voted to put $200,000 towards farm relief for storm recovery for our ag producers. So we did our first round in December, and we had 79 applications, and I think on your financial statement, it shows that those 79 applicants, between them, got $100,000 and some odd change for the first round. So we're kind of going back to the appointed ag committee, which included FSA, Stormwater, NRCS, Cooperative Extension, myself, and Kenneth. Is everybody? I think that's everybody. But the EDA appointed that committee to kind of create this application and figure out how to disperse the funds. So we did the first round, and we wanted to come back and try to figure out what we wanted to do with the second round. So Kevin and I have been talking to some producers in the Ag Advisory Committee and this appointed Ag Committee. And we think the best option is to just do a second round like we did the first round. FSA is still covered up, trying to collect damages and values of damages and stuff like that. We've had a few phone calls from producers who didn't apply the first round, and it was for a variety of reasons, whether they thought they were getting funding from another source, or they just didn't hear that in time, or didn't get their application in time, or whatever. So there were a few calls about that, and then some calls about money to cover the things that FSA can't cover, like washed out farm roads, feed bins, barns, facilities, stuff like that. So kind of going, and I think actually Paul got a call just today about a producer trying to get debris removal. And, oh yeah, you said that.
I don't want to go to it.
Yeah, you were. And I don't, that I'm aware of, there's, nothing out there to help as far as funding to get the debris out of your cornfield or your hayfield or whatever, unless you burn it during the burn ban and get in trouble. So anyways, we've had calls about things like that, if there's any funding to help. And so we thought it might be best to just do a second round like we did the first round and kind of just update the application.
Can I ask a question? Is the intent of the second round to cover people that were missed, or is
Yes, thank you. When I was talking to Nikki about it, she asked the same thing, and I think my brain goes faster than my mouth sometimes.
So the intent of the second round is to open up the same process, same criteria for folks that have not.
For people that did not get to apply the first round
Understood.
are producers, yes, with the same criteria.
Understood.
Do you know when you're gonna open the second round?
I have already updated the application, we just need approval from the EDA that you guys wanna do the second round like you did the first round, and then I'll get the application to the chair or whoever to approve the application. We could start advertising it for April 1st, if you would like.
And as Lyndsie said, that was a recommendation from the Ag Committee too, that we discussed.
So that's what we bring up as a vote on the recommendation of the Ag Committee that we do the second round, just like the first round. That, people might have just got missed or didn't get in time.
Or just, some of them just, they knew about it, they just didn't apply because they thought they were getting other funds. I know some that haven't gotten funding from FSA yet. At all.
I know back in January, I messed up where I missed last month, but I think back in January, you had said y'all were kicking around whether to open it up for those that had already applied for additional funds or just.
For damages, yeah, that FSA couldn't.
So now are we just doing new applications or are we doing additional funds, just new applications?
Yeah, the recommendation is for new applications,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll make that motion to open the applications back up April 1st.
Do you have the time? Because I know last time we had like December 30th cutoff. Do you have?
Yeah, we did a 30-day timeline. We could do a 30-day timeline again, or if you guys feel like you want to extend it,
Do you feel like you can get the word out in time?
yeah, I do. I mean, I think we did the first, I don't think the second round is gonna be as large as the
Sure,
first round,
sure.
but, I mean, I think we can.
And you're using the same formula that you use.
Yeah, that 20 to
Yeah.
23% that you guys voted on. Yeah, so I don't know if we need to go through that math.
For 30 days starting April 1st.
If that's, yeah, if that's what the EDA wishes, unless you'd like to make it longer.
I'm just trying to get the motion right.
We're going on your recommendation if you think 30 days is enough.
I think so.
Does that give? You don't give out the money till the end of April then, right? You wait till that's all done, or did you start giving them out as they came in?
We actually, for the first round, they were due December 31st, and I wasn't a Grinch, like with the holidays and stuff, if somebody brought it like January 2nd or whatever, I mean, I put it into the pot. I mean, we want everybody to have the opportunity, but we got the checks out February?
Yeah, in February, and it was one check round. All of them were processed the same day.
I just didn't know with people, if this money's gonna be used for debris removal, like, cause I'm not a farmer, does that mean if they're not getting their checks till May or June, is that messing up when they can plan or hay or whatever?
I don't think so. I think if they know that they have the opportunity to get some funding, they're gonna go ahead and try to, get it gone. And if they can at least foot the bill, this will help replace some of what they've spent.
Okay.
It's in my office.
Do I need to make that motion again?
Well, I think your motion is pretty clear.
So we're clear on starting April 1st, 30-day for new applicants regarding the same
Or the end
process.
of whatever. What's the last day? April 30th or 31st? 30th, yeah. April 30th.
30. April to 30 months.
Yeah, I'm questioning that.
Okay. Another question?
Well, after this,
Oh, right.
after we go on this.
And I think, I'll ask you all, if we get them in on the 30th, well, it'll take a little bit of time because we have to make sure there were no delinquent taxes and stuff like that. But I'd say
I'm sure we'll be able to process it the first
sometime
time
in
in May.
May. Okay.
So I second that motion.
Okay.
Motion second. All in favor, aye? Also, aye, any opposed?
And Gary, I don't know when you do your white top newsletter, but is this something that you could put in here?
Yes, if you give me just a short You actually caught me at a good time. The next issue will be coming out in April. I'm trying to get information together by the end of March, March 30th. I'm trying to collect all articles. Realistically, there's always some that come in a little bit late. It's hard to get it.
But I can get you, can you put the actual application in there too, as part of your newsletter?
I don't know that,
Or just make copies and send them out for people?
or could you give a link or something like that? Give a link, because otherwise the expense of
That's
this.
Okay.
expensive, man, for a small budget.
Well, the last issue, and this was a lot of volunteer work, we had some volunteers, including my wife and I. The cost was about $1,100
Okay.
because it's a little bit longer. So the longer it goes, the more expensive it
Yes.
gets.
We'll
Printing
have,
is
we can have Linda put it on the website and we can put that link.
Yeah, give me an article with a link and something and just send it.
By
to
March
me.
30th.
I do have one question. So this goes back to the kind of the ARS. How much money do we want to budget for potential ARS purchase? Because the more we give, and I don't think it's gonna be another $100,000, but obviously the more we're getting, I don't know how much cushion we need for possible ARS purchase. Because we're at about 400,000, how much was
Still saving.
So I don't think we're at any immediate
No,
risk,
but
but it's just something we should be
If
planning.
you would like to encumber some money, we can do that. I can encumber it on the spreadsheet if you would feel more comfortable.
I think that makes sense.
So then it would be up to the board to
To
decide
say
how much.
how much, I think that's a discussion I was thinking, 150,000 to, I don't know what the number is, so
That was the first number that popped in my head,
what was that?
150,000.
Okay, well,
But
we're,
is that enough? Mhm.
I don't know how much is out there for 150, but
so maybe it's 200 or more. But I think it's a discussion we should have because we don't want to get to the point where we see something and say, oh, sorry, we don't.
You don't have
I
enough.
I did an MLS search, properties in Grayson County under $150,000 last week. You know how many houses are for sale under $150,000?
Zero.
I was gonna say two, yeah. Mhm.
I'm gonna play 5.
Now, that may have changed this week.
Yeah.
The last time I did that particular search.
At least it gives us a ballpark. I guess if we did the same search for under 200,000, that would give us more data and just kind of go from there. Of course, the ones we're looking at are probably ones that are
It's hard
on
to
the low
find,
end of the price.
it's hard to find a house under two right now.
we're mostly looking for houses that are,
Need some help.
It helps,
need
so
help on.
we'd be looking at the
And it
lower
may
end.
not even be for sale until you approach somebody.
The other option is to find a piece of land, maybe place the land up and sell it off as well. You can do that as well.
I guess the question is, do we encumber something? And if so, what's the amount?
Well, if we're all out there looking for something under 2 and find it, then maybe be brought back to the board too. Okay, any other questions?
Well, we need to answer that question. I think, do we need to say, should we encumber something at this point or not?
You don't have to.
It's
It's up to the board.
We're gonna have to vote on it.
You don't have to right now. You can, but that certainly.
Yeah, and that was the question.
I mean, in reality, you have $470,000 encumbered, so to speak, for economic development, which includes ARS. So, but I can see where, as things happen.
If we encumber it, like if we were to say, we're gonna set aside $200,000, what does that do to us if, let's say, a magic business comes in that's really looking to put something here? I mean, how hard is it for us to go back and say, oh, hey, we're gonna take that 200,000 and put it
You would just have
towards the next Nautilus or something?
Come back to the board. It's a paper trail at that point.
Like I said, there's 470 in there. If we come up with something 200 and it comes back and we say, yeah, let's do that, then
If Gary goes to White Top next weekend, he comes back with this ideal house that we can get for $20,000 or $25,000. You're still gonna have to have a board meeting either way to have the money discussion. That's what I would say.
Anybody else?
So I'm hearing no. That's uncovered.
I don't think I'm ready to say, let's set aside 200,000 and take that out of our potential personally.
We pretty much encumbered 200 for the farm thing, but that's what the money we had to dig it out to help somebody. I'm good with, like you say, you got 470 in there and then we still got a load on it, so. Everybody good with that, or any other ideas? Speak up, Tim, I get in here. Okay, anybody else? We're all good leaving it at, we got 470 to work there. Okay. Next is the presentation.
I'll stand by one second. New business, Mount Rogers Regional Partnership Board of Directors appointment. Did you see that in there?
I did, and then I lost it.
It's under
Number-
new business,
number
first
three, new
one,
business.
first one under new business.
That's right, I've been think that. Matt Rogers Regional Partnership, Chris Butler was on that. As he is no longer in the EDA. It typically meets 3 times per year on the 4th Thursday of March, June, and October. Anybody interested in being EDA representative to the Mount Rogers Regional Partnership Board of Directors?
You know what it is?
I looked it up, I Googled it.
Okay.
Looked them up. If they just met 3 times a year, I would do it.
It's about right. You're on the executive board. So the way economic development programs, Nikki can explain this way better than I can, I promise you. I'll butcher some of it, but you just have to have a little grace on it today, okay? So the way it traditionally works is if we're not generating ourselves, if something comes through the state, they want to go to a region. They don't want to go to individual counties, and so they want to go to a region. So our region is this Mount Rogers Regional Partnership. And so it's Smith with Grayson, Carroll, Galax, and that's it. Land, I'm sorry, Land, yeah, Cameron's and Land. So those are the folks that are, from a county perspective, that are on. So this week we got 2 potential perspectives, people looking for development sites or whatever it is. So they say, here's the parameters we're looking at. What the board tries to do is guide the economic development team who's in Withville and works for us. We pay into a portion of this, and the board tries to set kind of a guidelines as to what they think would be good from a business perspective to come into the county. So a couple times a year, you can sit on board, have a meal. Mitch always likes a meal. That's why he likes to go.
I didn't go today.
He didn't go today. He didn't go. So, but you get to meet Appalachian Powers there, so their economic development person's there. All the county folks were there. You'll have representatives from Whitfield Community College, different business backgrounds will be there. It's an educational piece, but it is an opportunity to think from a business perspective. What's looking, particularly for us right now, we've got a couple of things happening at Wildwood in Carroll County, and so you have some insight. We'll stay. Does that help explain it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I Googled it.
Mitch?
Oh, I think you did well, and I think you would enjoy it.
But that's up to y'all. I mean, I'm willing to do it if.
And you're welcome to go with me when I drive over. You don't have to drive, or you can drive me.
I'm with the troops.
Anybody else interested? Good. So, do we need a point or that?
You need a pointer?
Yeah.
Yep.
Motion.
Make a motion, second.
Look for motion to appoint Mr. Sharon as a representative of the Mount Rogers Regional Partnership Board of Directors.
So moved.
Here's a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Also aye.
That's if you hate it, I'll get you off of it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for stepping up, I appreciate it.
Good job. All right, next is presentations. Mr. Stevenson.
Before they speak, I need to tell everybody, there's a lot of new folks on here, and, I am going to present again, not next month, because I won't be at the meeting next month, I'll be gone. But in May, I'm gonna present the tourism zone, because a lot of you, may not be familiar with it. It has requirements of, capital investment and employment, and also it has benefits to it. And I wanted to let you know that Ian and Candace were approved for the tourism zone, a month ago, something like that. And one of the benefits is that they do get priority consideration. Emphasize that word, consideration, for any EDA grants or loans, because they did qualify as a tourism zone participant. And I'll go into a whole lot more detail in May about that when you all get settled who's doing what on the EDA, but just wanted to comment on that before they present.
In our presentation, we have listed things on equipment. I didn't include it, but I do have this to add. It's a smoker. I don't know if you want me to give that to you to break it down.
We'll pass it on. Let me do that.
And then drawings, if you all are interested in looking at the layout and what we are getting ourselves into.
Candace, is that mic on?
What's
Is
that?
that mic on? Okay.
Is it on?
Yes, I just don't talk loud enough.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm just afraid to speak up on the
can you
record.
hear me? Okay. I'm ready to get started. The first slide. So if you know where this building is in Elk Creek, the gas station on 21, there's a building right next to it that was renovated. It's a 1940, used to be a Shell gas station. And Brenda has worked on renovating it for years. And about 2 years ago, we started working on the interior of it, turning it into a restaurant with an event space and a bar in the back. Also, a unique kids family area that's separated from where you would regularly dine, so your kids can kind of run around. Including an outdoor area with fenced in for kids as well. So, I'll just get started. We're set to become a vibrant part of Elk Creek. We're offering exceptional dining experience that unites organic resources in a rustic and elegant setting in the heart of Grayson. Positioned in the historically significant renovated station, the cafe will serve as a community nexus, hosting events and promoting ecotourism and supporting local artisans and farmers. And this marketing plan gives some actionable strategies, how we're going to enhance brand awareness, increase foot traffic, and establish the cafe as a key destination for locals and visitors.
So our target audience, the primary audience, obviously, is the residents of Elk Creek and neighboring towns.
Here for you, click for your presentation. Sorry.
Including health conscious individuals, families and children, and people on the go. And eco-tourists exploring Southwest Virginia, such as the Appalachian Trail, hikers, Grayson gravel traverse cyclists, and local weekend explorers. Event planners seeking a distinctive venue to host gatherings, and a secondary audience of day trippers, road trippers, traveling through Elk Creek, down the artery of 21, organic food aficionados with nearby cities such as Boone, Christiansburg, Winston-Salem.
And as well as our secondary audience, we will reach out on Facebook groups, which we consider one of our biggest marketing plans, and to let people know in these cities and towns, hey, if you want to get away for the weekend, come to us. And there's several places within good driving distance that we go to for weekend getaways. So we're going to be that destination.
And we haven't started the social media aspect of it because we were really naive with commercial real estate and all the hoops you have to go through. So we're glad we didn't, because we thought we'd be open a year ago, but here we are.
So, starting with brand awareness, our cafe is organic, so we want to be the destination for folks that eat organic, and then also local. There's a lot of people that don't eat organic but search for locally sourced food, so they know where their food comes from, and that's going to be really one of the first places in Southwest Virginia. We used to have a place in Marion that was called Harvest Table, and they've been closed for a few years now. So we're trying to bring back good timeless food. And with ecotourism, we want to partner with at least 3, which we have more than 3, local farms to produce, quality local food. We'll serve at the cafe, but we will also sell these things in the adjoining grocery store to the cafe. So in addition to trying to attract an average of 50 to 75 customers a day the first 6 months, but we are going to lay low until we're really comfortable with serving everybody. And we have 3 part-time employees also ready to join us, and that's just to get us going. So we're going to start small and then try to expand. Our growth the first year, we want it to be at 250,000 and then increase at least 20% next year. With community engagement, we want to do at least 1 event per month. So I kind of want to do like a jam night. I don't know if any of you all are familiar with Boad Country Store. That's pretty much what we want to recreate in Elk Creek. We partnered with Red Rooster Coffee, and we've got some good partnerships. And also, they're helping us get everything started, and we'll be serving their coffee and selling their coffee as well in the grocery store too. So we'll have our tagline, which is timeless taste rooted in community. And we are going for the timeless, elegant, and rustic look. We add Todd Price to our signage because we recognize that Todd's signage is pretty much everywhere around the county, and it's timeless. So we took advantage of his last getting out of his career, and he did the signage for us. So let's see. Our unique selling proposition is we're the only organic cafe in Southwest Virginia. Organic, seed oil free, all of those things are what we're offering, and local handmade ice cream in the community event space. So our digital marketing, we plan on website and SEO, so we will have a Google page, Google recognition when you type it in, organic restaurant. Social media will be Facebook and Instagram, and those will be relatively often posting them, so everyone wants to come and try what we have on special. Our campaigns, we will have, like if you share this, you can win a free meal, plus other campaigns. So we will do email marketing. We have quite a list of people in the community, like through our farmers market endeavors. So we plan on doing email marketing, hosting community engagement. We want to host monthly events, live music nights, farm to table dinners. And we also have the garage days at the end of the building. We want to open that up on the weekend on Saturdays and Sundays and have a farmers market. We have a couple people, our farmers that are going to help us with our local sources would like to set up too. So in addition, we would like to host workshops. There's a really neat mill. It's a wool, I can't think of it's a knitting machine?
Oh, yeah.
A fiber loom. So it's an old time loom. You can see it like how they make things with wool and from fiber. So we want the local partnerships. We will partner with local businesses, vacation rentals, offering discounts. We have discounts for retired law enforcement and military, current and retired. And a Grow With Us program to hopefully get local people to want to grow produce and provide it to the cafe. or set up at the farmer's market or sell it at the grocery store. So community engagement, we're trying to tie in our farmers with our cafe. Local ecotourism promotion, we would like to collaborate with the hiking trails, cycle routes, offer discounts to those tourists. Really try to align with the Ag and Art Tour, and just be part of that. So everything I think I've covered on here. We have some artisan good displays that we're gonna, anybody that makes anything, we wanna have like shelving along the wall where it can be displayed for sale. And then provide samples of things that you can buy, like if you want a sample of ice cream, you can buy it, bigger container and stuff like that. So we have, let's see, that's pretty much it for this slide. Our sample menu gives you an idea of like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, our lunch and dinner is kind of the same thing. We will have a serving equipment like a prep station that will have all of our toppings, and it'll go like a line. You'll see if you look at the drawings right through to serving it. So we have foot traffic. Let's see. Our performance indicators are tracking our daily customers, aiming for 250,000 for our annual goal. Let's see. We want to count the attendees to make sure we know who's been coming through. We had a small event there in January, just at the end of the Legends of Grayson, and we were not expecting but around 30 people. And it was way more than 30 people. I think we counted 100, yeah. So we're excited. We'll be keeping on top of who comes to visit. We're open 7 to 3 Thursday, 7 to 3 Friday, and 5 to 9. And then Saturday, 8 to 9, and then Sunday, 11 to 7.
What's
We
the
plan,
start date, I'm sorry?
but we don't have a start date yet. We're still, we're in the equipment purchase phase.
Okay.
And then we're submitting everything for the health department to get us going. We have completed our water facility, so we're good to go on the water facility. They come and test our water every month. That's been fun. So this is just one example of the menu and our hours where we want to start, but we do plan to expand more hours with that, more people. Our budget, we've built the bar, we've built tables and seats throughout. We have not, porch swings and outdoor seating we do not have yet, but we also have, we have a closet we built in the back, some kids seating. So all in all, we have completed $29,746 in everything that we've spent with drawings and all of that, permits. So
You already bought your smoker, Candace.
no, we have not.
That's
We're
gonna
at equipment and smoker.
That's gonna be a good addition.
Yeah, well, we want to serve local meat that, it's been smoked, and we'll have barbecue sandwiches and things, so.
Do you have a grill? I was looking in your purchase list earlier, I didn't see a grill and I didn't know what.
It would be the smoker. It's not, I had,
And we already have like a flat top and things that we can utilize,
yeah,
the pizza ovens.
We do a lot of things with smoker.
yeah. It's a big one. I gave that to,
Somebody's
Inside
Let's get hungry, I can see that.
He's like,
It's hungry.
He missed that meat day when they fed him.
Making me hungry, Candace, move on.
one of the reasons we're doing this is because our family eats healthy, and we run across a lot of families that eat healthy. We want somewhere for us to be able to go eat, our kids to eat, and everyone to just not be bothered by the food they're eating, and it's, settles good.
Candace, what's your seating capacity in there? How many can you
It's
seat?
listed on the drawing, and they separated it by the event space in the front. I believe it's 48.
Oh, on the big, in the big.
Yeah.
Steve, pass that.
Steve's got it.
I want to say the back is about 63, and then front is, it just
So you can see 80 at a time, 80 some at a time?
Yes, so it's in the front and,
And
county.
that'll probably be maxing out at about 80, and
I
then
haven't listed on
It says community hall area, there's 63, is that-
Okay, yeah,
and then below that, it's for additional deli seating, 32.
yes.
so then hopefully we'll have some outdoor seating as well. So got to talk to a structural architect first, but the old
So the
structure.
frame in the first photo, that frame that's on the front of the building, we're going to have porch swings hanging there. So it'll be a porch swing and 2 chairs in front of it. So that'll be like making up its own seating area. 4
Yeah, it's
different
like
seating
planters,
areas
just so
outside.
obviously cars and things can't go by.
We're putting big planters to make it safe, so no cars will go through there. And that's the bar area and the third picture down. The back corner of the artwork has got a closet there now, so the matching closet opposite of that.
You got 90-some people coming in there. Is there enough parking for that?
Hopefully they ride together. So, but we think there's plenty of parking around the back of the building. If you've never been there before, you can park, like you
That's
can
why I
drive
asked.
all the way through to the bank. You can park on both sides. And if does anybody have any questions?
This is a building right next to 21 gas station.
Yes.
Right across the street.
Does the property back accept the service tree farm? Were they on that?
Receiver, is it back up receiver?
Secrets?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just backs up to the post office and bank, and then another gentleman owns where like the trailers are parked.
Yeah.
That little nook before,
Yeah, I know.
I think Robbie and Catherine, the pool right next door.
Yeah.
So first of all, a comment. I heard good things about the Harvest Cafe and actually was driving around and went by that. So I did hear very good feedback about that. And my wife and I are, I'm not as good as she is, but trying to eat more healthy food. So for that, that's something, I live in White Top, and that's not really an alternative there. Most of it is kind of, I don't know what do you call it, typical
Conventional, so we say.
fried food.
Yeah.
Stuff that's not as healthy. And the market around here, are you convinced that there is enough of a market for organic food?
We are.
And some
We have been here for 9 years. In the first 2 years, we were at the farmer's market selling organic produce that we had from our farm. And we sold out every week we were there. We could have produced more, but there was like a max amount of people coming through the farmer's market, so it was hard to grow at the market. So when COVID hit, we had our own little tiny house trailer to bring market to, but then COVID hit and we put everything on pause and the farmer's market was on pause. And we thought, instead of doing a small little trailer, we met with Brenda and decided this building would be much better to do this in and long lasting. We want to see this here as a staple in the community, like bringing a heartbeat back to Elk Creek that the community's missing a place to go where you can come in and you don't have to buy something. You can go sit in the back and just watch people if you felt comfortable.
Our kids using the Wi-Fi or something. If they
Yeah.
don't work, but
There will be Wi-Fi.
I've done I do physical therapy, so I do home physical therapy. So there's different niches of patients as well that, especially the ones that can't cook, and having like prepared meals already with frozen, just pop it in the oven. You go to someone's house and they're just so limited because they can only stand for 2 minutes at a time. What are you going to do about it? And so just even without us getting the foot in the door with social media, just who I've talked to, I mean, they've got different niches. I don't want to tell so-and-so or a church group always finds a new place to eat on Sundays. So I think just the word of mouth so far, since a lot of people have kind of known we're in the process, but just don't see the token yet, so they always question it. But I think there's definitely, depending on how busy it gets, like in the beginning phases, I'll be taking off like Thursday, Friday for probably about a month. But then if it gets popular enough, then, and we can keep up with the demand, then it just kind of depends on how far you outreach. Because when we've looked from Charlotte to Roanoke to Winston, just to try to find something organic that doesn't mess up your stomach. And it's pretty difficult to do. So I think that depending on how far you extend your marketing, it just depends on how much you need to.
Yeah, we're gonna start as local and small as we can and then go from there. This is a video from Lyndsie, which I'm very busy running there. So it's just a glimpse at what we want to see in there every Friday and Saturday. Kids playing and dancing and families enjoying themselves. I think this area has lacked something like this.
When y'all had that, did you feed people?
Yes, we had a buffet that we served, which we were expecting a lot less people, so it went fast and we were really happy we had ice cream and soup.
And just since you're working, and we're just kind of just donated the food.
I think I saw those. That's when Brian Graham played at.
Yes. Yep, it was really nice.
Was that your all's kid?
Yeah.
Kind of missing that.
Now, as far as food goes, y'all said y'all shied away from seed oils and stuff like that. Now, what about dyes?
No
Artificial
dyes,
dyes.
no artificial flavor.
That's amazing to hear because our kid has ADHD and we cut him out. And it's a job about mid last year and he's dye free now. We can go up to
There's a
We're
lot
getting
of
that.
there's a lot of things.
They dyes and everything.
There are.
Toothpaste, they dyes and everything.
Things you would think are not dyed, like, they have yellow in it and never thought, and it's white, but how does it have blue dye in it?
That's right.
I don't know.
But with the physical therapy aspect of things, I can get kind of nerdy with that. But even with like myself, there's people that have like MTHFR gene mutations, so they can't process folic acid. So if a child is going to have something with carbohydrates in it, usually most of our things are sprayed with folic acid or fortified with it. So that first meal of the day, little Johnny going to school, he has 1,400% of his folic acid in one meal. So it might not even be a sugar issue. It could be actually different things that people just don't think about until, they're trying to respond to a symptom of something else.
So we're very minimal ingredients. Our ice cream is delicious. It's like 4 ingredients: cream, sugar, and vanilla, and it's just so good. And y'all will know the difference. We'll hand make our ice cream and serve that up front. So I've got a little calendar here: March, April, install equipment and complete construction for the entrance and exit ramp. We're also looking at having some help getting the entrance and exit ramp completed with maybe possibly an EDA grant we're working on with Virginia. But we hope to hear back from them next week on that. Separate from that, our ask is for equipment and the smoker and some of the outside furniture. But we think we can still be on task here. Launching social media and hosting like a grand opening event, I would more consider it like a soft opening. But we could still do that by the end of May. So if we got equipment and submitted our paperwork to the health department and got that process going, I think it's 30 days. Then we would like in May, June, when things start getting, ripening, and we'll start a farmer's market in the garage space. We do want to host farm to table meals where you'll buy a ticket and we'll, plan accordingly for farm to table dinners, which we'd like to do that in July. And then so July and September is the ecotourism and expanding local partnerships. So any farmers that want to get started or get together with us on how we can help them be growers for us, we want to work on that.
Do y'all do just in a greenhouse or do you got an open garden?
So we don't plan on gardening, like providing any produce for it, but we do have a chicken coop and chickens. So we provide all the eggs and we make sure our chickens are fed organic and they're pretty free range. They have the woods right now, but we're moving them out into pasture. So we'll use all of our own eggs. Let me move along to the next slide. I think we have our partnership. So if you have any questions on this. So our Heritage Hill Homestead, we will use a lot of pork from them, and they would like to raise chickens for us. There's a little picture down at the bottom left of our chickens on our farm. That's Tiny House Farm is us. And then Rising Roots Farm and Woodlawn, they sell at the farmer's market and Independence. So does Park Farm Meat Farm and Jason's Organics. And Silver Maples Farm, he's got a produce stand in Hillsville, but he's got really good like quantity purchases for organic and produce. And anything we can't buy locally, we have sourced organic elsewhere. Like we use a lot of Azure Standard. We partner with Earth Bear on some of their ingredients, cream and things like that. So if we can't get it local, it will be organic. And this is just a picture of all of us involved in this. My parents live on the farm with us, and my dad is the smoker. He's a pit master. He loves that his picture's in here. And so my mom is our chef and does all like the ice cream recipes, and she's really a great cook. Both of my parents, major health issues until they went to eating organic. And it was when we moved, I got them to move to the farm with us. And I said, you guys you'll take a big difference, I promise you. And my parents, my dad had gout, he couldn't even walk. He was tore up. And my mom had a lot of issues, and both of them, she had 17 surgeries on something that just would not heal. And she finally hasn't had one in 10 years. And it's because they're careful with what they eat. You just put seed oils and additives in your food and feel good. So they're proven night and day difference of what eating better can do for your body. But these little explanations, I have advocated for healthy living and farm to table dining. I've been the farmer on the farm. We've raised pigs and chickens and everything under the sun. So we're really comfortable just doing the eggs and letting everyone else provide the chickens and things.
Maybe until those two right there get a little older, so
Yeah.
you can let them
And
work
they
in
can help
there.
us. Let's see, Ian, he's the detail. He knows all of the statistics on everything. He goes down the rabbit hole on who is a good company or, whatever to buy from and information on that, so.
Because a lot of people, they have their doubts of even like a USDA organic label. It's just a label. I mean, you just have to pay for it. How much checkout things are there? So part of like the social media as well is going to be the transparency of it. So she used to do, or still does, videography, photography. So, just having little interviews of some of the farmers, their farms, seeing actually where the food is going to be raised. So you just have a little bit more of that transparency of like, oh, okay, it just gives a face to it and people feel a little bit more comfortable with it.
And some of those testimonials would be excellent to add to that.
Absolutely.
You probably got King's number to take.
Does anybody have it? I'm going to call them. So I've told you about my dad. He's a smoker man. He's the one that picked out the best smoker in America, and it had to be made in America. And so he has that section covered, and mom's, doing everything in the kitchen. Her biscuits are phenomenal. I don't even like biscuits, but she makes them so good. So, and then just a history, 10 years in the making. We built our tiny house in another state, and then we found our land and fell in love with Grayson County. So we moved our house to just set up shop in this county to farm. We wanted land. We didn't care how big our house was. And we've just always cared about the community. We've raised every animal. We've tried beekeeping. tried beekeeping. So yeah, oh, I didn't mean to end it.
Yeah, the investment in the community, I mean, for our kids and everything,
You could go to
we
that
moved
last
out of
slide if
Southern
you-
Maryland to, just the crime rates were higher, the amount of people was just getting a little ridiculous, waiting in traffic all the time. It's two ways, north and south, just sandwiched between the Potomac and the Tucson. So opened up a farm school pretty much on our property for the kids. So we have some local kids that come to the school. So yeah, just trying to make it where kids want to stick around afterwards as well and have a place that they can go and have that community feel. Because I mean, I was still seeing patients in 2023 that hadn't left their house since 2020 when the pandemic started. And I mean, I don't think human nature is supposed to just be that isolated. So, there's just different community events that could really bring more people together. I mean, just in general. So we hope to provide that. That's our ability.
Okay, for the ask for the EDA, you're looking to hopefully be in business by May, have a couple of full-time and a couple of part-time.
Yeah.
And you're asking for 50,000? No loans, just grant. Okay. Well, it looks good to me, but as far as we'll need to discuss this and closed session, and we'll get back with you. And I appreciate what you're doing here. I think it's a good deal, but we'll just have to discuss it in closed session, and then we'll just get back to you. We'll have Nature Steve or whoever, see what we'll come up with. I appreciate the presentation.
I'll invite you back, right?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Whatever happens, we want you to come back and tell us how things are going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have no EDA member time, we was asked, next month.
Yeah, so I just, to kind of formalize request, for the next meeting, I'd like to be on the agenda, to update, and if you haven't already seen it, you sent out a copy of the presentation that I made at the last meeting. And so I would ask for you to review that before the next meeting, so we can hit the ground running and take up the least amount of time as possible.
All right. Public comment, anything that somebody with public comment?
No, sorry.
None?
He's taking notes.
I'm taking notes, that's why I didn't.
Tracy, is this something you wanted to?
No, I just gave y'all one.
Okay,
They just came in today.
all right. Any-
Can I say one thing before we go into
No.
closed session?
No, yeah.
When he gave his presentation last time, he mentioned something that was in a document about what the EDA was supposed to be. Do you remember that? And I asked Linda, I didn't receive that yet. Y'all, that kind of gave a guideline of what the EDA was about. Cause you just saw it in some kind of document that you had looked at. Do you remember that?
Well, I know we have our mission statement, the EDA mission
I
statement.
think that's what I was looking for, something, and cause I've never seen it, so.
Okay, well, that's something we should all,
Yeah, that's why.
I think
Linda
might
was
be
Linda was gonna send it out, but I'm sure she probably got busy and forgot.
sometimes it's right on it. But, okay.
It
we'll
was in
send
the
that out.
comprehensive plan, right? So what she's talking
It was in something that
No, I
I
think
had never
the
seen.
copy of the presentation was circulated.
Yeah, but that wasn't in it. You just said you had read it in
Okay,
something,
so
so.
we need to get that out there.
Get
So,
one out, I'm sorry.
all right, the EDA mission statement.
I'm taking notes.
So you want staff to send you, to the entire board, comprehensive plan, EDA statements, EDA bylaws.
What,
documents.
yeah,
Okay, check.
any EDA document
Yep.
that's out there.
We can do that.
And
I think it's the comprehensive plan that kind of lays out the goals of the EDA,
Oh, yeah.
right? It was, you know.
Yeah, there was something that I referenced last time that, I can't remember what the document was, but it didn't formally call it a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, but there was that process, and in that document, it had what the strengths were, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, basically had that in there to some extent, and that's something that, in my presentation, that's usually a step in the process of what I'd like to see us do. And the fact that that's already been done gives us a head start.
Oh, you're talking about was it the Precita?
The Precita thing,
Precita.
yeah, we went to the Crossroads and
Yep.
got the update 2 years ago,
Uh-huh.
was it? It's been a minute.
Yeah, I have.
It's been a
That's
while,
what he's
yeah.
talking about.
And I knew we
I've got
had,
a copy of that too.
I knew
But
we
that
had,
breaks it down for a county, right?
Yeah.
It said
Yeah.
specifically laid out Grayson counties.
It was Grayson and Carroll. I think they did it for Grayson and Carroll, but they did break out Grayson.
yeah, there was
You got a copy?
Yeah.
Steve, I was gonna ask Nikki, but she left. I was trying to understand the spreadsheet and what's on here. Is it just what's currently active? I noticed like Angie's restaurant's not on here, and the apple cider guy. Where's that information
Well, we can get
located?
you all of it. I think it's the latest, I don't remember what the report is she runs on this. I remember the board, only wanted a snapshot in time. And I think they wanted, encumbered amounts in a certain period from a board meeting. They
Yeah.
didn't want the entire, we can get you the entire.
I was just curious as to what's outstanding. Who owes, who owes what's out there?
This would be everything that's outstanding.
Yeah.
There's no, oh, you mean things that we've done in the past?
Yes.
For what period of
Like
time?
ones, well, I don't know. It would just be kind of nice to get a bigger picture to know, what's coming back, what's coming back into EDA, what's getting
Oh,
back.
It's on.
Yeah.
Well, I did see it, I didn't see some things, and maybe I have a misunderstanding about them.
Like, when
Well, like, didn't Angie get a loan?
she got a grant.
Oh, she didn't get any kind of loan, and the same thing with the apple cider guy. So those were just outpays.
It was a grant.
Okay, so no loans involved there.
No,
I thought Darren last time asked,
Angie
isn't she
did
about
get
to
loans.
start
No, she
paying
didn't.
back?
No, she didn't. She
mine
waived,
was 2.
Okay, because Darren thought, because he mentioned it last time, that he thought she was about to
she
start paying
waived off on
back.
the loan.
Oh,
No
that's
loans.
right.
Okay.
Turned it down. Okay.
So this is everything then.
The board
This is
approved that, the board approved the loan for Angie, but she decided not to
She did,
pay.
okay.
Gotcha.
yeah, I was asking the same question, so.
I was just curious if this is it. This is all.
You can ask, you just send, if there's something you want, we can send you a bigger
Okay.
picture of that.
Okay.
Like, from a date, but I think this should have everything on.
Okay.
And so, by the way, kind of along that same thought, I have made mention of this a couple of times, and I think I brought it up last meeting. But I'd like to formalize this. I think it would be a good idea for us to hear from people that we've given money or loaned to, whatever, and get an update on how they are coming along, so that there's a little bit of accountability and we get an update. And for me, something like that, as I mentioned to you earlier, the goal is, if they're very successful and everything is moving along perfect, fine, congratulations. But if they're struggling at all, we should be asking what can
When
we do.
people get grants, are there any performance markers and things that they're supposed to do?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'd like to hear an update, and if they're not doing well, if they're not
Yeah.
meeting, then is there something we can do to help
The
them?
last grant had performance metrics of how long they should be open, or how long they're required to be open, when they should be open, how many employees they have to have.
Okay.
Each one's a little bit individualized. I made a checklist that if we're gonna do something, I think we kind of have to go through. I think just some things that I guarantee our attorney will ask, and that we should probably ask ourselves, just to hold them, if we're gonna push out dollars, to hold them accountable for dollars that we get.
Any other questions or comments? I'd look for a motion to go into closed session for discussion of expected business pursuit. 2.2-2711A5 Code of Virginia.
So
Motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor, aye. We are in closed session.